Hi there folks, welcome to RRTV. My name's Bernie Weemers and we're broadcasting to you live tonight from Brands Hatch, and it's the Formula Renault Australian Championship Round 11. As always, I'd like to welcome to the Combox Luke Emerton. How you going tonight, Luke?
Yeah, good mate. Ready for a good race tonight around Brands Hatch. Should be some excellent racing as always.
Yeah, and we've got a big field as always. I think we've got around about 45 cars out there tonight, so it should be quite action-packed around here.
Yeah, definitely the racing around here is always pretty close, and yeah, with 40 odd cars on the grid, it's going to be pretty hard to not find some action tonight.
Oh, that's for sure. Let's hope we can keep up with it, but let's have a look at our track guide at the moment and see what the weather's like. Well, the skies are clear out there with the wind speed 19 kilometres an hour and quite a hot track temp, 40 degrees Celsius. But I guess, you know, the guys are pretty much used to driving in pretty hot weather. So let's have a look at our point score. We've got 3 minutes till the race will start. So Gary Hamilton's leading the way at the moment on 6,515 points, followed by Michael McCabe in second on 6,490 points. Tim Harris is sitting in third on 5,999 points. And then fourth is Simon Feigl on 5,815 points. And rounding out our top five is Justin Strickland on 5,449 points, and this points tally does not take into account drop round, so that's going to have an effect on the championship. So once they finish this warm-up, we will then go through and give you the grid. The guys have pre-qualified for tonight's race, and but I can only give you the grid when they grid up. So we'll see how we go with that.
I'm back. Sorry about that, Bernie. Just changing microphone ports so I don't get feedback through my headset, as I was talking to you about before.
Yeah. So is that a bit better now for you?
Yeah, much better. I just changed from the rear port to the front port, and seems to have sorted the issue out.
Fantastic. Now, we've got quite a few big names out there tonight, haven't we? We've got Sam Sutton, Simon Feigl's another one to watch tonight, and quite a lot all the way down through the field. Ben Smith, he's got to be a guy to watch tonight.
Yeah, definitely, and also the likes of Ryan Harris has been up there as well. Just scrolling through, Alex Pohl as well, I think has been doing not too bad. And even Mitchell McLeod, Sam Katakazunas as always, normally running in the top 10, Simon Gelly as well. So yeah, definitely some big names out there tonight, Bernie, ready to give us some excellent racing.
Yeah, and we've got Gary Hamilton out there, Mitch McLeod's out there as well. We've got a few, it's good to see a few of the guys that used to run the Skip Barbers stepping up to the Formula Renault, and that is Troy Burgess and Mick Gray's out there as well, giving it a run tonight.
Yeah, that's right, Bernie. It's always good, as you've mentioned before, about some of these boys that used to run the Skip Barbers, or still do, and coming up to give the next step-up category a go, because as we can see, their talent transfers pretty well into these cars that have a bit more downforce than the old Skippy.
Yeah, another guy to keep an eye on is Nora Lampy's out there. He was very, very quick in the Skip Barbers last season, so we can expect big things from him. Very competitive, and he comes from Europe, so it's great to see him out there having a run with us tonight.
Yeah, it's the beauty about iRacing. You can be anywhere in the world and everyone can jump in and have a race, and you never know who you might get on here.
Yeah, that's for sure. And this category, or this championship, it's starting to gather steam, isn't it? We're starting to get really big fields and starting to attract drivers from all sorts of different classes.
Yeah, well, not last week, but the week before that we broadcast at Suzuka, they had 50 odd cars there, so that was a great field.
Yeah, so while the guys grid up, let's quickly go through this grid and See how we go here. So Ben Smith will start from pole position, followed by Michael McCabe in second. Gary Hamilton will start out of third tonight, followed by Josh Anderson. Keep an eye on Josh. Fifth is Sam Sutton. Sixth, Adam Newton. Seventh, Tim Harris. Eighth, Simon Feigl. Ninth, Guy Leach. And Riley Blythe rounds out your top 10.
Yeah, then you've got Joy Nolampi, Troy Burgess, Matt Rayner, Stephen Silvestri, Ryan Harris, Justin Strickland in 16th, Craig Edwards in 17th, Rob Gray in 18th, Sam Catasinas in 19th, and Scott Goodman rounds out our top 20.
And the guys will be under starters orders now, so let's get rid of this. And we're underway here at Brands Hatch. It looked like Scott Newton got a really big start there. He might get caught for jumping the start.
Yeah, that was an excellent start. I think also Adam Newton was in there as well, with a great start up from about third or fourth row there. And the field now is just starting to but now there's a bit of action back there. Jay Norman's just had a bit of a moment on the inside ripper strip, but managed to keep the car in a straight line.
Yeah,
and another car in the grass there as well. Yeah,
that's Nora Lamp. He found the tyres early on. He didn't want that, but he's new to this category, so it'll take him a while to find his legs. And there's another crash further up the field.
Yeah, it looks like Rob Gray's involved there. Simon Gurley, there's a big pile up there coming into the where the track splits off into the longer section. About 3 or 4 cars involved there.
Yeah, Ewer was involved in that again. He got rear-ended and he's had a shocker of a start here. So,
yeah, definitely not too good, but the field's still going too wide around the back section of this track now.
Yeah, it certainly is. We've got Sam Sutton there. He's sitting in 5th position at the moment, so he's had a good start. We'll just wait for him to go through for the first time, and then my overlay should hopefully cleanse themselves. You can see a few guys already jumping into the pits, and we know the pit lane does open on the first lap, and a few guys are taking advantage of it.
Yeah, a few walking wounded out there too, Bernie, by a little bit. A few rear splitters bent and stuff, so definitely a bit of action on that first lap.
Yeah, I was expecting it with a field of 45 here at Brands Hatch. I was expecting there to be a few fireworks.
Yeah, so out in front now, our regular Benjamin Smith leading the pack, but he hasn't managed to run away from it yet, being only just after the first lap, and he's closely followed by Michael McCabe and also Gary Hamilton, another regular in our top 5 runners, is doing a good job here. The top 3 now just starting to pull a bit of a gap to Tim Harris and Riley Blythe back down in 4th and 5th. So these guys will be working together now, trying to build a lead over the rest of this field.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting, isn't it? Because it's a momentum track, and there's a few blind corners where they can't even see the apex till they're on top of it. But as far as slipstreaming goes, I wouldn't expect it to be a real big deal here tonight.
No, that's right. Michael McCabe now under attack from Gary Hamilton coming in the last corner, and Gary's gone up the inside there and made that stick, but he's now got to try and protect himself into this sweeping downhill turn 1.
Yeah, and Ben Smith, he's getting quite a good run here as he goes off and into the sand pit. I'm not with it tonight. Gary Hamilton second, Michael McCabe third, Tim Harris rounds out your top 4 at the moment. It looks like Tim's trying to breach that gap and jump across to these top 3.
Yeah, now these about the top 6 or 7 cars. Yeah, 7 cars are in a nice group, and just behind them is a great battle for 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th. We've got another group of cars here with Justin Strickland rounding out the back of that field, and they're really close together now coming down the main straight.
Yeah, so we've got Ryan Harris defending against Mark Rayner, and then right behind them Justin Strickland, Martin Silvestri are fighting there, and it looks like Justin won out on that.
Yeah, they tried to get too wide there through that right-hander, and you'll be careful there. A few cars on the first lap ended up on the grass due to trying to run too many cars next to each other, so they managed to sort themselves out, and he might have a look further back, as well as Craig Edwards and Sam Catasinas now having a bit of a battle coming in the last corner as well.
Yeah, and Sam's really found his legs in this category, and expect him to come up through the field. Scott Goodman in 13th, right behind him, has also had a great start. So it's good to see him having a good drive. And then we've got Jay Normoyle back here in 14th. Bit of a lonely drive for him if he can't catch the guys in front.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe after the pit stops he might catch back up there, or maybe find someone to race. And it looks like little battle packs now. Another group of 5 cars. Mitchell McLeod, one of the regular names in the V8 Supercar Series, is down in 18th position, and he's got a battle on his hands too. He's right in the middle of the sandwich between 2 other cars, front and rear. So there's another group of 5 cars having a good battle as well.
Yeah, that's Russell Clark directly in front of him. Phil Gadd is behind him. And yeah, Mitchell's quite an exciting driver, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. We've seen him a lot through the V8s and also now in the GT and AEC series. So good to see him out in an open wheel category, giving it a bit of a shot. And obviously not as quick in an open wheel as he is in a tin top, but definitely giving it a red hot go around here.
Yeah, and he's trying to find a way around Simon Galley and or Russell Clark and TJ Brown there, but they were going too wide and they didn't leave him anywhere to go.
Yeah, and Brands Hatch, not one of the most widest, one of the more narrower circuits, should I say, on the calendar, and not a lot of room to pass, even though there's plenty of corners to have a go at.
And TJ Brown there, we're riding with him, just got spun trying to get across to the pit lane, and he did a nice 360. Didn't cost him a lot of time, but he's lucky the car's not damaged.
Yeah, that's right. Get away with one there. There's a bit of room actually on that pit entry if you do have a bit of an off, and looks like he's gathered up and got it back in there then.
Yeah, it was a bit of an awkward one because he had Mitchell McLeod come through on the inside, and they banged wheels, and then as he turned in to take the pits, he turned in pretty late. He got tagged by another car right behind him. So looking at the casualties out there, let's say, from that first lap incidents, Ewan Lampe was one of them. The other people involved was Andrew Kiss, Kevin Henderson, Rob Gray, Joseph Falcamada, Darryl Ridley, Stuart Carsley and James Arnold. So they were all involved in those 2 crashes that we saw at the start.
Yeah, unfortunately it looks like those boys have packed it in for the night, and the car's going to go back and have to get a few major repairs done, and they'll be back next week, I'm sure. With only 2 weeks to go on the championship now, it's every point counts. Yeah,
and last week they were at Gilles Villeneuve, and unfortunately we couldn't cover that race due to personal reasons, but next week we'll be at Interlagos, so it'll be quite interesting to see how the cars go there.
Yeah, definitely another famous track as well with the F1s, and again a lot of turns, a lot of corners for the drivers to have a good go at, and with these cars being so closely run together, they should be again more excellent racing for us to broadcast.
Certainly will be, and the field's starting to stretch out in the top 8. You know, they're quite spread out. If we have a look at the live gap there, 1.1 seconds back to Gary Hamilton from Benjamin Smith, and Gary Hamilton's got 1.1 second gap to third Michael McCabe. Michael McCabe again 1.2 seconds back to Riley Blythe, and Riley Blythe 1.4 seconds back to Guy Leach. So yeah, they're all just finding their own pieces of track now.
Yeah, that's right. It's amazing to see that they can find that kind of space in a field with about 50 odd cars. There's Ryan Harris there, and that's a big lock up into the hairpin, and it's allowed Justin Strickland and Martin Savasky just to slightly close the gap up to him. But yeah, as you say, even going right back to 10th, 11th, 12th, there's a fair bit of track space out available for these guys. Probably Simon Galeli and Sam Katakazunas here, probably the closest battle that I've got at the moment. Back down in 14th, 15th.
Yeah, as we see Sam now starting to put the pressure on Simon Galley here, and he's going down the inside. I think he's going to get it. I think Simon's letting him.
Yeah, you got an excellent run out of that left-hander, and makes all the difference up that straight as well. That's really important to get a good run out of that corner. There's a few different lines through there, and obviously the one that Sam took there was gave him the best top speed out of that.
Yeah, and we've got a bit of a battle here. Simon Feigl, he's making a move there on Aaron Farmer, and he makes that stick. So Simon, he took an early pit stop, so that's why he's so far down in the field. But as the other drivers make their mandatory stop, we can expect him to come up through the field. The other one that has taken a very early stop is Craig Edwards. He's sitting in 20th at the moment. So these guys, the stops was Craig Edwards 5 seconds and Simon Feigl 4.8 seconds.
Yeah, so it seems like a little bit longer stop than usual, Bernie. They're normally low fours kind of thing we've been used to seeing. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see once the leaders and the top kind of 15 pit to see where these guys end up.
Yeah, well, the good thing is about with these guys, then they've got a lot of clear track around them, so they're not going to lose a lot of time being, buried too deeply in the battles through the field.
Yeah, that's right, and there's plenty, as you said, there's plenty of gaps on track as well for them to try and get into once they do start exiting the pits as well. So at the moment they're not getting held up too much at our leaders, so they're able to build that gap with 28 laps around here. It's a fair whack even for a shorter track, a minute 20 lap. It's got to keep their heads for a while.
It certainly is, and Ewan Lampy's had that car repaired and he's getting those valuable miles in the Formula Renault, and it's good to see that he is still out there circulating in 28th position.
Yeah, well, they're still fun cars to drive no matter where you are on the track, Bernie, so any seat time in any car really is always good for these guys.
And Michael McCabe starting to gain now on Riley Blythe, so we've got a bit of a battle here for the third step on the podium.
Yeah, that gap now down to a couple of car lengths, so the Riley here will be looking to make a move within the next couple of laps, maybe before the pit stop, or even might try one of the undercuts. We soon find out, I would say.
Yeah, Michael got a better run there, and he's right on the back of Riley now, and you can just see that all happened because of a poor run out of the corner about 4 turns ago.
That's right, just looking out the gearbox now of Riley as he closes right up on him now. Don't think he'll be able to go around the outside there, that's for sure.
No, he's trying the undercut though.
Yeah, the over-under locks a little bit of an outside there, but that's a great move.
Oh, that was a really good move, really clean, and you could see how he set that up from turn 1.
Yeah, it's excellent racing by these boys, but I'm sure Riley's not going to give that position up too easy. He's going to fight for that, and maybe now that he's given that position up, he might try and maybe get his pit stop done soon.
Oh no, he's having another look on the inside. Gutsy move there as they go again, too wide, and Riley pushes Michael out wide here. Too wide into there's touching, and Michael's around.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It was a good battle there, Bernie. It's I think Michael just might have thought he wasn't there, and it looks like he just might have turned into him a bit there.
Yeah, we'll have a quick look at that replay and see if we can get a different perspective on this.
Yes, that's interesting one there, Bernie. Riley was still there. He had his wing probably, as I look at it, probably in line with his rear wheel, and maybe a slight bit of net code. But yeah, it's very unfortunate, but it's very hard to go too wide through that kink there. Yeah,
I was expecting contact when they went too wide through the first one, but trying to go too wide through that kink, you're pushing your luck, aren't you?
Yeah, well, when you look back at that in the replay of that first corner, they went side by side. It was almost the exact same gap, and obviously the second time the computer says no and hunted him off the track there.
Yeah, and I think the first corner, too wide, I think Michael saw him and he gave him a bit of racing room, or as much as he could, but that second one, I think Michael might have thought that he had him covered off.
Yeah, definitely. If I look from an overhead view there, there's probably about a tyres width between them as they go around.
Yeah, so your top 5 at the moment, folks, is Ben Smith. He's got a 1.7 second gap lead over Gary Hamilton in second. And then we've got Riley Blythe third, Guy Leach now up into 4th position. And then rounding out your top 5 is Troy Burgess. So it's good to see Troy finding his legs in this category. He was really quick in the skippies, and he's brought that speed over to the Formula Renaults.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, Bernie, with the skippies are a good car to learn in with minimal downforce, and it takes a lot of more driver input to drive them, and they get in one of these things with a fair more downforce and some better tyres, and yeah, they seem to enjoy it a lot coming up from the skippies.
Yeah, and I guess, when these cars step out, they're probably a lot more predictable than the skippies are as well.
Yeah, that's right. They don't tend to snap oversteer, I don't think, as much as what the old skippy does.
Yeah, as we see now, Troy just going past a lapped car there. But yeah, I was having a run in the skippy the other night, and I was quite enjoying sliding it around the track. Not that you're supposed to slide them, but hey.
That's more of a challenge that way.
It certainly was. Looking at our retirements at the moment, it looks like we've lost Darryl Ridley, Stuart Carsley, James Arnold, Josh Anderson, David Jellings. Those are all the guys, and Mark Rayner possibly may also be a retirement at this stage.
Oh, Josh Anderson's the name that stands out amongst that crowd, mate. He, I don't know how he went last week, but we've been seeing him with some up and down results, and obviously again tonight, not his night.
Yeah, I was expecting him to have a good run tonight, but because he was up the top half of that field, but I think that second incident we saw claimed him, unfortunately.
Yeah, no good at all, and hopefully we'll be looking to bounce back for the ASM boys when he comes out next week.
Yeah, for the final round. It's I can't believe it that we're going to be up to round 12 so soon.
Yeah, that's right. I was saying to you earlier, it's gone like stupidly quick this season, and look forward to what next season brings as well. And we've got a few other things coming on soon. We've got the next AEC event, and also SEC as well, and I think also the Premier Series is coming up again for their next race. So even they've come around quickly, considering they only run every once a month or so.
Yeah, well, tomorrow night on RRTV we've got the SDRT 240 for the V8 supercars. We'll be covering that live, and then of course, as you said, the Australian Endurance Championship this weekend will also be broadcast live on RRTV.
I believe that's at Monza, is it? The AEC, mate?
I think it is.
I should know because I'm possibly driving in that, so maybe I should do a bit more research and do some laps.
Yeah, maybe you should if you're driving in it.
There's so much motorsport on this weekend, it's ridiculous. We've got the combined New South Wales State Championship Round 3 and National Series Round 2, I believe, for the Formula Ford Championship, as well as a lot of other supporting categories. I think the HQs are out there at Sydney Motorsport Park this weekend, so yeah, I've got the next 3 days of full-on action, I think, and by the end of it I think I'll be pretty much over racing for a while.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess you'll be out there on the tools to fix any of the Formula Fords that get damaged.
Yeah, that's it. Hopefully none, but they've got a field of 28 cars, I believe, which is probably the biggest field we'll have this year. So, besides they're running at Wakefield, they're running another combined round there later on in the year. So yeah, it's going to be good considering our state series at the moment's got about 10 to 12 cars. So yeah, double the size and hopefully double the action.
Yeah, hopefully not double the work on repairing them.
Yeah, that's right.
One guy that's buried down in the field a little bit at the moment. Oh, as we've lost Mitchell McLeod and Jay Normoyle there, and they got it all wrong there. But I was going to say one guy buried down there is Sam Sutton. He's sitting in 11th position at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to Sam tonight, but looks like Jay had a fair few internet issues before that incident. My replay is bouncing all over the place trying to find it, but yeah, Sam, he's normally up there, and not sure what's happened to him tonight, but hopefully he can recover, and again, he's made his pit stop, I think, maybe not, so if he has, he's going to be in good position, but he's about 30 seconds off the leaders, so even if they do pit, pretty much our top 5 or 6, even top 10 will nearly stay the same when they all pit.
Yeah, and they're starting to come in now as Mitch McLeod too wide into the pit lane. Well, boy, talk about aggressive.
Yeah, I don't know if the stewards will have a look at that. Normally they don't encourage people to go too wide into the pit lane, but
he actually
stayed out as well.
He actually gained 2 positions coming onto the pit lane.
Well, if it works, then stick to it. And Benjamin Smith, our leader as well, is still out on track. So being the other of pit now for Fuelham, you might think about coming in soon. But he's done a minute 20.9 in his last lap, so he's still churned them out fairly consistently. And Riley Blythe as well, minute 20.3. So he's caught about half a second on that last lap.
And the other interesting thing here is a few of the guys have elected for tyres. Mitchell McLeod was one. Michael McCabe took tyres as well. 19.9 seconds is their stop compared to all the other guys just taking fuel in the 4.7 to 4.9 seconds.
Yeah, and that's interesting because I was going to say it's one of the longer races that we've had, and the boys seem to say that the tyres are pretty good around most tracks and they don't really need changing. So yeah, I'm not sure about that decision, especially with such a large difference between taking tyres and not. And Andrew Kiss just had a bit of a kiss with the wall before, running down in 27th as we were talking about that, but he's going again and no damage to that car.
Yeah, and it's getting a bit iffy out there as the leaders now are starting to get round up all the back markers here, and yeah, the guys are all going to just have to just be a little bit patient, I think.
Yeah, that's right, and always.
Sorry to jump in there. Our leader Ben Smith and Gary Hamilton have just tangled. Gary's continued, but Ben's he's dropped quite a fair ways down. Try and get a replay of this because Ben had quite a lead.
Yeah, I'm just rewinding back too. Somehow I was watching a replay, but it looks like it started back where we saw that other accident, and Ben's run a bit wide at coming up the hill and got it all wrong. That's what he's done. He's dropped a wheel off on the turn in on that blind uphill right-hander, and it's just unsettled his run, and he's actually cut a pretty big whack up the backside there from Gary.
Yeah, he certainly did. Gary looked like he may not have even lifted there. It's what do we call that? That's a tag and run or something like that.
Yeah, bump and run, I think they call it in NASCAR.
Yeah, that's the one, bump and run. But yeah, that, as you said, that was pretty much set up, wasn't it? Our when Ben got into the grass there.
Yeah, just up where Gary is now, he dropped the wheel off, and then turning in here, he took a bit of ripple strip on the inside, which really unsettled his car, and I mean, Gary was right up his backside and didn't have a lot of place to go. I think even if he lifted, he wouldn't have really had a chance to get out of the way.
Yeah, no, that really didn't have anywhere to go, to be fair. And it's a real tricky corner, that, isn't it? The one where Ben ran wide, because from the driver's perspective, you can't even see the apex until you're right on top of it.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, if we jumped on board with Gary at the moment, and you'll just see how blind that actually is if we're in the cockpit view or even on the roller bar. It's just so hard, especially in these Formula Renaults. It's hard enough in a tin top where you're sitting a bit higher off the ground.
Yeah, we might actually stay with Gary for a lap around here at Brands Hatch, just so the viewers can get an appreciation for how blind some of these corners are. So this next one, they're really just going off muscle memory, aren't they?
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure in any car that I've driven around here, you cannot see the apex of that corner, and that was one where Ben just dropped the wheel off and really unsettled the car up through that top hill section.
Yeah, I've seen many a driver there come unstuck. Normally the GT3s, when they go out there on the grass, they normally slide across the track and catch the inside wall.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, even this section of corners like that, that's a blind apex into one, blind apex into the last corner, a blind apex into this hairpin here. So yeah, it's just such a tough track.
It certainly is, and it's quite a polarising track, isn't it? And what I mean by that is drivers either love this track or they hate it.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't mind this track, but it's very hard to master. That was a corner just there where he's got a few multiple lines you can take through there depending on the category. But yeah, definitely it's one that you need to spend a lot of seat time to get used to, especially with those blind apexes, because you can lose so much time when you're not sure of where your lines are through there.
And having a look at Ben Smith at the moment, he's down in 5th now, so maybe he's carrying a little bit of damage on that car.
Yeah, I think his rear splitter might be a bit, rear wing, should I say? I don't know why I call it splitter, but rear diffuser, wing, whatever you want to call it, is slightly buckled. So it could be affecting his rear downforce and creating a bit of understeer.
Yeah, and we've got Sam Sutton in front of him in 4th. Sam's there because he hasn't pitted as yet. So once he pits, that'll move Ben up.
Yeah, he's got a slight kink in his rear wing, not the worst damage I've seen, but obviously could have even bent underneath as well with the wing wedging underneath, and as he runs a little bit wide there, so definitely maybe be fighting a bit of understeer with less downforce on that rear wing.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to damage these cars, as you said.
Yeah, I was surprised though, Gary Hamilton's front wing is almost brand new still after that impact. I mean, it's pretty hard hit, but he hit him very square as well, so I think that's why it's minimised damage on both cars. Yeah,
if they had have tangled, front wheel into rear wheel, we probably would have seen a few of the cars crabbing down the track.
Yeah, definitely. One thing open wheel cars do not like, and that's wheel to wheel contact of any sort.
See now Ben just picking up one of these back markers. 8 laps to go. He's leaving his run pretty late here.
That's right, and Sam Sutton as well, just in front. They're all starting to get some of these back markers now, but it looks like a few of them are making pit stops as well. Riley Blythe up in 2nd, doing a really good drive here, just showing nice and solid consistency can get you good results. As he hasn't done too much hard work this evening to stay up there, he's just kept out of trouble and kept the car circulating at a decent pace, mind you.
Yeah, and that's the best way to be, isn't it? Keeping out of trouble and putting in consistent laps. He's coming up to his teammate there, so he's in pretty good company. But the guys that haven't pitted as yet, with 7 laps to go, so Sam Sutton hasn't pitted. Adam Newton's another one to keep an eye on. Nino Natal, Mark Simon and Alex Pole have all not pitted, but Alex is right down there in 27th and 1 lap down, so he's not having a good night tonight.
No, definitely not. And possibly caught in a few of those incidents earlier on as Riley now. Oh, there's a car behind just gone hard in the wall. Kevin Henderson has got it all wrong around there and just gone nose first into the inside wall just behind him there.
Yeah, I saw him just come into shot, so we'll have a look at this. He's got a really nice paint job. Well, he did have a really nice paint job, but let's see what occurred to him here. Yeah, so he's got a good run. Oh, he's caught the rear wheel just on that ripple strip there and straight into the wall. No front nose on that car now, and it'll be interesting to see if that car steers straight.
I'll tell you what, it may steer straight, but don't think it'll want to turn. It'll probably just want to go in a straight line.
Yeah, he found that. He went to take the next corner and he just went straight into the sand and called for a tow truck, so that's unfortunate there for Kevin Henderson. But with 6 laps to go, we've got Gary Hamilton in front, Riley Blythe second, Sam Sutton third, but he has to pit, and Ben Smith fourth, and then Troy Burgess is sitting down there in 5th position. The field is quite spread out, but I was just looking here, even the battle I thought we were going to see between Craig Edwards and Tim Harris, they've got probably a good 5 car lengths separating those guys.
Yeah, it seems like once those pit stops have happened, they've kind of sorted themselves out a bit more than what we thought. They thought they might bunch them up a bit, but yeah, Sam Sutton in third there is, if he hasn't pitted, he's going to be in a bit of trouble with Ben Smith just behind him with that slightly used ERA car there.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate for Ben, because he pretty much led. If we look at the statistics, 23 laps down, he led for 16, and Gary's led for 7 now. So unfortunate for the ERA driver.
Yeah, definitely, and just behind him, Troy Burgess there in the All-Star Motorsports entry is going to try and take advantage of that Ben Smith's car there and situation, and he's got a couple of laps to try and get through, and the gap now is slightly closing, but you'll have to make a move soon, otherwise it's going to get away from him.
Yeah, that gap's down to 0.8 of a second at the moment, so he's starting to close in, but as you said, he's going to have to do it in the next couple of laps, or otherwise he's not going to have any laps left.
Yeah, I'm sure Ben won't make it easy for him. He'll probably be shutting the door left, right and centre, trying to hold that 4th position.
Yeah, and I'd say Ben's in no mood at the moment to be tangled with.
Also, we just had a lap car there, just have a bit of a moment in front of those two that we were just talking about. That was Phil Gadd in 19th. I think he might have had a little bit of a spin, and 360, got it facing the right way again. Luckily enough, he's in a nice bright yellowy green car there that the boys were able to get around him.
Yeah, it's good to see all the guys employing the old go-kart racing trick. When you slide it, do a 360 and keep on going the way you went.
Yeah, that's it. I think even some of our boys in the Formula Fords have tried that round turn 1 at Eastern Creek, and doing 200k an hour and looping it in the middle of the corner is not the best thing to do.
No, and we can see Sam Sutton again. I reckon Sam doesn't realise that he has to actually make a pit stop, you know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I thought I heard race control start of the race say that he was able to, that you had the mandatory stop, and obviously, as we know, watching the series throughout this season, that they do have a mandatory pit stop in there, and yeah, it's unusual because with Ben behind him, and even if Troy can make that move on Ben, that's going to, whoever gets that position is pretty much going to be on the podium.
That's right. So I'm assuming that, well, I don't know what race control does if they don't pit, if they disqualify them, or if they give them a 5-second penalty or 30-second penalty, who knows.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We might have to ask race control if they come in for a chat after the race, and Ben Smith there just had a bit of a moment, and then he's blocking, and wow, they just had Troy Burgess just drove straight through Ben's car there. I think there must have been a huge net problem, and he's got that position on Ben, but yeah, on my screen he just drove straight through him over that blind right-hander.
Yeah, it was the same on my screen. I think that's the first time I've seen the net code go to their advantage. You know?
Yeah, it's like he disappeared, he drove through him, and he appeared again. He was like, oh, thanks for that.
Yeah. Oh, and Troy's lost it.
Oh, he's thrown it away.
He'll be kicking himself. Let's have a look at this replay and see exactly what happened. I'm assuming he's probably got his right rear wheel here caught in the sand, which is throwing him around.
Yeah, he's just happened to miss that apex by about half a car, and yeah, he's thrown his wheel off onto that AstroTurf, and after that, it's all she wrote.
Yeah, he'll be kicking himself because he was looking good for a podium finish there.
Yeah, definitely, and maybe also thinking about that as well, and just possibly missing a brake marker slightly, and as you say, he's missed the apex, and around that corner it's so critical to hit that apex, because as you can see, like, you know, he's easily a car off the apex there, and just dropped that wheel in the sand, as you said, and straight down the car went.
Yeah, so we're on to the last lap now, and Sam did not take to the pits, so I reckon he's had a brain fade and forgotten that he actually has to take a pit stop.
Yeah, and that's going to gift third position there as well to Benjamin Smith.
Yeah, well, that should gift him that position, and maybe Sam's rolling the dice and decided that if he runs straight through and they hit him up with a penalty, he's going to finish higher than if he would have taken that pit stop.
Yeah, that's right, and Gary Hamilton now just coming through the last uphill section through the blind right-hander into the left, and looks like he might be ready to take this win, Bernie.
Yeah, he's coming into the final corner now to take out round 11 of the Formula Renault Australian Championship, and it's another great result here for the Elements Motorsports driver. So well done there to Gary Hamilton. He'll be very happy with that win.
Yeah, definitely. He's had some really good consistent top fives and top tens this season, and it's a great result for him to get his first win with a couple of races to go, as he does some celebratory donuts on the inside of turn one there. Very nice. He's obviously been practicing them on the weekend as well.
Yeah, and we've your top five at the moment, or top five finishes. So the win goes to Gary Hamilton, followed by Riley Blythe, comes home in second, Sam Sutton home in third, but I would suggest he won't stay in that position, and Ben Smith home in fourth. Justin Strickland, well, he was closing, he just ran out of laps. He comes home in fifth place.
Yeah, and in sixth we've got Craig Edwards, seventh Troy Burgess, which is at battle we were watching just before. Unfortunately, Troy had that spin out of turn 1. Adam Newton in 8th, Tim Harris in 9th, and Sam Katakazunas in 10th position.
So in 11th was Martin Silvassi, followed by Simon Feigl. Michael McCabe finishes 13th, Jay Normoyle 14th. Your Nora Lampy, after that incident, he got back up to 15th, so that was a fairly good result considering he spent a long time in the pits. Ryan Harris 16th, 17th Russell Clark, 18th was Nino Natal, 19th Mark Simon, and 20th Mick Gray.
Yeah, and then after that we've got all the drivers that were a lap down. Mick Gray was also a lap down there, but yeah, unfortunately there's only it's probably only about 14 that didn't finish, even less, but there was a few that were 4 and 7 laps down that obviously had a bit more of a run towards the end to get some extra laps in, so that was good to see. And there's probably only about 6 cars there that didn't finish at all.
Yeah, so those retirements, Josh Anderson, James Arnold, David Jellings and Stuart Carsley, I think they were all involved in those incidents at the first couple of turns.
That's it, as Gary's now doing a few more donuts on pit entry.
Yeah, he'd be pretty happy with that win. Really, I think Ben was the favourite there. He had that huge gap, but Gary just kept on pushing, didn't he? And to a certain extent, possibly could have forced Ben to make that mistake.
Yeah, that's it, and it's what happens in racing. If you can just keep the pressure on, it's not always you that has to make the move. You can force your opponent into a mistake, which is obviously what happened there, and take advantage of it. It's what everyone refers to as it's racing, and we hear that term thrown around a fair bit in not just iRacing but real life as well. So yeah, you got to be in it to win it.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. We did have Sam in the green room, but he's disappeared again, so he must have more important things to do. We'll just give the drivers a couple of minutes and see if the podium will come up for an interview. But moving forward in the week, tomorrow night, folks, join us for the SDRT 240. That's a V8 Supercars Endurance Series, and we'll be bringing you that live tomorrow night. Pretty much the same time as tonight, around about 9 p.m. I think they kick off at 8 p.m. It could be. And then, of course, the weekend, the Australian Endurance Championship. I'm not even sure which day that's on and the length, but have a look on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Redback Racing TV, and I'll have the times there for you guys to see when we're broadcasting.
Yeah, it should be some good viewing there, Bernie, and I think the drivers might be preoccupied. Just looking in the in-game chat at the moment, there's a fair few discussions going on about a few incidents during that race, none of which happened to be that one that we saw between Gary and Ben there, so which is a good thing. Ben didn't seem to complain at the time at all, as he made a bit of a mistake there by the look of it, and just deemed it a racing incident himself, and yeah, it's good to see a bit of sportsmanship there and everyone just keeping a level head, but there's a few others there arguing with some lap car incidents I think that we wouldn't have caught on camera.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I think we should escape while the going's good and end this broadcast. But final words from you, Luke. What did you think of tonight's race?
Yeah, it was a good race. A fair bit of action is what we thought, and although not as many incidents as what we thought, being that it was a big field with a narrow track. So yeah, overall excellent race, and good to see Gary getting a maiden win in the series for himself, and as I said, with some consistent results. That's the best thing you can have as a driver, is finally get a win, because you know it's coming. And just as I say that, Sam Sutton has jumped into the green room, but yeah, so yeah, good race overall, and good to see a mixed podium. Yeah,
and the other one to give a big shout out to was Riley Blythe. He was sitting down there in 5th for most of the racing, didn't he? And he, through consistent driving, staying out of trouble, he got that car up into 2nd position. Look, they're all streaming in now.
Sam, so you shouldn't have asked me. I tend to rattle on and look what happens.
Yeah, okay, we'll bring him up for a quick interview. Let's bring up our race winner, Gary Hamilton. Did you want to start the proceedings?
Yeah. Welcome, Gary, to the RRTV commentary box, and congratulations on your maiden win in the Formula Renault series. How was that race for you tonight, finally getting through after some very consistent results over this season?
Well, it's my second win, but no, it was not the way I want to do it. A little bit of controversy in there, a bit of, call it contact if you want to, but unfortunately it's one of the limitations of sim racing. We were very, very close in that incident, but also apparently we were both blinking. So yeah, not the way I want to do it, but it'll keep the championship tight, that's for sure.
Yes, apologies, sir. Second win. We did see. I did note too, Bernie, and during the broadcast, I had a fair few replays of that, and definitely from the blimp view was the most telling, where there was about a tyre width between your tyre and his tyre when he went round. So unfortunately, it's just one of those things, as you say, with sim racing, with the netcode issues, but a good example of netcode as well for anyone wondering at home that doesn't do a lot of sim racing. That's a good example of what can happen, unfortunately, but. Again, as I was saying to Bernie, you've got to be in it to win it there, and also a bit of a mixed podium as well, with a few places getting swapped around near the end, with Ben having a good fight back through the field and managing to still secure third place there after being as far down as sixth.
Yeah, I saw that, and I most definitely heard the chat going on, so I knew there was some action going on back in the pack. Just to explain that incident a little bit as well. So. Obviously Ben, incredibly quick and very difficult because he's bloody consistent. So you've got to be on it. You've got to be perfect to catch and, even attempt to pass him. And managed to close the gap. Mainly, there were some back markers which helped. Sometimes that happens. And then from about 1.5 seconds, whether he picked up some damage from someone, I don't know, or just made a few errors, managed to get the gap under a second. And then, he made an error coming up over the right-hander, the blind one, I don't know what it's called. I thought, good, so, straight away when I saw that, in my head, I'm setting up the pass into the last turn. So to do that, with these cars, you've got to be on it. And so coming into that left-hander, I've set it up as best I could, on the power as early as I could. And so I knew he'd be trying to do the same. And then, so I knew we were close, like really, really close. And then unfortunately that happened, and netcode actually does seem to be worse if you do have an issue and you do get close to people. So again, it's not the way I want to do it. I was looking forward to what was going to happen at the right-hander coming on the straight, but unfortunately we didn't get there.
That's all good, mate, and I'm sure I'll sort it out later on. And obviously as well, a bit of controversy with Sam Sutton not taking a pit stop there. So he is on the podium, but unofficially at the moment, until we hear from race control and see, because apparently he didn't take a pit stop, so we'll have to check on that one. So looking forward to next week, mate. I think it's the final round, Bernie was saying, possibly next week or 2 weeks to go. So looking forward. Do you know roughly where you are in the championship at the moment?
So with the drop rounds, that will put me into the lead now. Not by much, it's going to be close, so it almost won't matter. First, second, third. I've had to put that move on Michael at the start when I had my chance. That's basically what I was trying to do with Ben. I only just pulled that off. Had to be a little rude on closing the door down the straight, but there was no other way to keep that. So to be honest, I thought Ben was going to take off. And Michael's right behind me in the championship, so I was definitely, it's the last 2 rounds. So now's the time to race hard. So I did see it. Michael finished a bit of a ways back, so a really good round for me, and I really hope I can be here next week.
No worries, mate. Just before we let you go, any regular sponsors that you'd like to thank?
No, mate, so a big shout out to the Element boys, the Elements Motorsports, and Win the Day, of course. The Cancer Awareness Group there. Jump on Facebook and check out their stuff, all their clothing. It's always looking really good. So g'day Chris and all the guys that Win the Day, and of course you guys. So thank you very much. This is one broadcast I'll definitely be interested to go back and have a look. Thanks, guys.
No worries, Gary. Thanks a lot, and good luck for next week.
Thanks, mate.
So we'll bring Sam Sutton up and just try to clear this issue up about pit stops to see if he did actually take a stop or not. Hi Sam, welcome to RRTV's Combox, and interesting race there tonight. I just wanted to clear something up. Did you actually take a pit stop in that race that we didn't pick up on?
Yeah, I did the sneaky pit lap 1 strategy to get out of trouble, but it turned out I ended up in all the trouble, so didn't go according to plan, but yeah, pit on lap 1.
Okay, fantastic. So that clears that up, because on my telemetry it had that you hadn't pitted yet, along with others, but we never believed my telemetry. So that was a pretty good drive there, because we saw you down there in 11th, and after later on in that race, after you've taken that pit stop, and work your way up to 3rd, so a good drive.
Yeah, came out in a bit of traffic in the stop, and thankfully a lot of cars decided to just fall off the road in front of me, so it made it a bit easier passing all sort of the marker cars. Once I got towards the top 15 or so, I had to push a bit harder to get the car speed to pass the guys, and as everyone went into the pits, it sort of cycled out. Ended up losing a fair bit of time, though, to the lead 2, just because getting stuck in traffic or having to stop because the car spun in front of you, but at the end of the day, it wasn't too bad of a strategy. Kept the car clean and got a podium.
Yeah, fantastic, and it's always a bit of a gamble, isn't it, with these big fields when you take a very early pit stop. It's really into the lap of the gods of where they're going to throw you out.
Yeah, I tried it at Silverstone the last time I raced in this series, and it worked well, but the longer pit lane at Silverstone meant the train got past me before I popped out, so the short pit lane and the very quick stop tonight meant that I popped out in the middle of guys. Luckily I didn't have to fight a car on the exit. I popped into a nice gap, but yeah, well, hoping the whole train could get past me so then I'd just have clear air to do lots of laps by myself.
Yeah, well, that would have worked out really well, wouldn't it, if you had been dropped out in empty track. But overall, what did you think of the standard of driving? We heard there's quite a bit of chatter going on amongst the drivers about different incidents. What was your experience out there?
Yeah, well, I mean, all in all, it seemed pretty clean in regards to contact where I was, but just a lot of guys spinning off. You know, it's probably just to do with this track. It's very much off camber, and the car's very stiff, so some guys trail braking into corners. The big one was the second left-hander before the back straight. Got heaps of guys spinning there and just taking out a couple of cars with them, so yeah, all in all, it wasn't too bad. It's just a couple of guys' silly mistakes.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, we've got one more round to go, and that's at Interlagos next week, so are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, all goes according to plan. I should be racing that. I mean, it'll be the last round of frack as well, so give it a good send-off there.
Yeah, it certainly will. Anyway, before we let you go, Sam, do you want to give a shout-out to your sponsors and everyone that's backed you here tonight?
Yes, big shout-out to Hyperstimulator. They're not on the Formula Renault, but they're main sponsor of the V8s, and of course Cask. Couldn't do it without them.
Fantastic. Well, go and enjoy that champagne, mate, and well-deserved 3rd place.
Cheers, Benny.
So the next person we'll bring up, Luke, is Riley Blythe, and see how his race went.
Yeah, next week.
Hi Riley, welcome to RRTV's commentary box. Congratulations on your second win. It looked like pretty much plain sailing for you tonight. A nice clean drive.
Yeah, pretty much. It was for most of the race. It was like that, but earlier on, I was up with Michael McCabe, and unfortunately, a bit of netcode contact. Apologies there, because I still think it was my fault. I wasn't far enough up, despite the obvious netcode issues. But yeah, otherwise, it was pretty clean. I had my own little space to run around, and I just took my sweet time getting past the lap traffic and just sort of carried on.
Well, it definitely worked to your favour, because we saw you're in the top 5 most of the night, but then as the race progressed, you found your way up into 2nd. So the strategy definitely worked for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Towards my pit stop, I was wondering where Sam Sutton went, because he was up in front of me the end of lap 1 when he pitted. So I was like, oh, he might come into play, and then I never saw him. So he told me he got a little caught up in slower cars, and so I just sort of was left my own space, and yeah, it turned out being to be pretty easy, but by the end.
Yeah, we saw Sam, he was sort of buried right down in the field, and he had to make his way up, but he did get up to third. He was about 7 seconds behind you at the finish line.
Okay, so yeah, that's interesting. I thought he'd be a lot closer. He'd be right up behind me. Usually we're pretty matched on pace.
Yeah, well, your last lap was actually faster than his by a good 0.8 of a second, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I was just winding down. I just wanted to make sure I brought the car home on that last lap, but yeah, so that's actually pretty good. I don't know, maybe maybe tyres went a little bit worse for him as he had to work his way through the slower cars. I don't know.
Yeah, but once again, really well done. Second position. Have you got any sponsors or people you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, just the usual ERA boys, you know. MPMS Racing Simulators been really, really good. Dual Real Timing, Virtual DGT. I'm still new to the Maverick Welding. I'm still new to the team relatively, so I'm trying to remember that. I think I've got the bulk of them.
Yeah, I think you got most of them. There's quite a few to memorise though, but well done.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, well, good job. I'll give you a minus for that effort on the sponsors.
Okay, yeah. I'll between now and the next frac race, I'll try and nail them down in my brain just in case this happens again.
Yeah, no worries. Anyway, Riley, we look forward to catching you next week. I think that's our final round of frac at Interlagos.
Very cool. See you then. Cheers.
Okay, our final interview tonight, folks, is with our race director, and that's Trent Thomas. Hi Trent, welcome to RRTV's Combox. I might hand you straight over to Luke because my voice has gone all croaky.
No worries.
I'm not sure if Luke's actually...
I've dropped my microphone. Hang on a minute. I can't see it. Where is it? Oh, there's my microphone. Here we go.
You're too busy playing that game, aren't you?
No. I'm seriously not. I don't know why my microphone jumped off me. Anyway, Trent, good evening. And anyway, we have had a fair few incidents I've seen this afternoon or tonight that a few of the drivers are a little unhappy about post-race. So fill us in about that. The first one was the Gary, Hamilton and Ben there, but they've seemed to accept that was netcode, so that's all sweet. And there was a few others though that weren't as happy back in the field towards the back market area.
Yeah, the race was actually, first few laps were pretty, a few incidences here and there, and it actually got pretty quiet for a while, and then towards the back end of the race, we started seeing a few more incidents happening, and there seemed to be some weird netcode type things happening. There was a 3-car accident heading into turn 2. I can't remember what lap it was, to be honest. And I saw netcode, however another race controller said that there was clear contact made between cars. So I saw netcode where cars started losing control and then all 3 disappeared from my screen, so I couldn't really adjudicate on it. We needed to have a post-race review of that one. The incident between Gary and Ben, that was deemed racing incidents. Ben had a bit of a bobble, lost some speed mid-corner, and that caused Gary to sort of run into the back of him. And I'm not sure of any other instances that people were too unhappy about.
Yeah, that's it. I saw the post-race chat in-game just going ballistic, and that's why we're We're almost going to end the broadcast because it seemed like the drivers were too involved in that to pop up for an interview, but eventually they came out and said hello to us, so that was good. But again, I'm sure we'll be updated on those throughout the week if anyone jumps on the forums and want to know the full results of those incidents. Normally Trent will put them up there for to let people know what's happened with those incidents so that there's no arguments later on.
Yeah, I definitely welcome any driver to, if they, although they're quite free to ask a question about why a penalty was or was not given, it's not really an invitation to enter in a discussion to change our minds at Race Control, because that's not going to happen. We've had a driver, by his team's own admittance and his own admittance, that maybe he shouldn't have approached a certain situation the way he did. We received apology for that, but yeah, there's certainly no reason drivers and teams can't ask a question of Race Control to find out why a decision was or was not made.
That's excellent. No, not a problem, which is always good for people to get some clarity with some incidents. As you say, when you first see it, you think one thing, and then once it's reviewed, it's and everyone's settled down a bit, they kind of either accept it or don't. So it's good that they can just ask a question and be done with it, move on to the next week. So speaking of next week, last round there, so should be a good battle with the championship being fairly close. Gary was saying there's not many points in it.
Yeah, I think I was trying to get the points updated prior to coming in here and having a chat with you guys, but obviously there's some post-race things that are going on at the moment, so dealing with that, haven't had a points update. But heading into this round, after drop rounds, there was only 140, no, less than that. My maths is pretty bad, but due to finishing positions tonight, I think that's closed right up, so it should all come down to the last race, really, to and who finishes where as to who might take home the championship.
Yeah, and we can't wait for that, and we'll be broadcasting that again live on RRTV next week, same time as usual. So I'll throw over to Bernie and see if he has any other questions for you tonight before we end the broadcast.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, not too many questions here. The main one is you must be pretty pleased with the size of the fields. It looks like it hasn't really dropped off that much. Well, it's dropped off a little bit, but there's still huge fields that you're getting with just one more round to go.
Yeah, we've been well, we did start with about 120 in round one, but yeah, as you know, all these series always taper off towards the end. We've been pretty solid 50 to 60 cars now for most of the season, so yeah, it's always good to see the drivers come out each week. And yeah, next week, obviously the last round of the season. And for anyone who's been on the forums, etc., also noticed that it's the last round of FRAC for the time being, as organisers are taking a break next season, have a bit of time off, but they're hosting a Lotus 79, bit of a fun series in the meantime, just to sort of real life's getting in the way of some of the admin for FRAC, so we can't really supply the manpower that we need behind it, so we're just going to replace that with something for a bit of fun for a season, and hopefully FRAC or something will come back in season 4.
Fantastic. Well, we definitely look forward to that. But anyway, Trent, once again, thanks for putting on such a great series. It's been a pleasure broadcasting it, and we're looking forward to the final round next week and to see who takes out the championship.
Thank you, and thank you to you guys for coming and broadcasting the series. It certainly adds a little bit of depth, I guess, to the series as well, being able to see the broadcast. And a shout out to our first international driver in tonight's race 2. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pronounce his name properly. I think it is Juha. Where is it? Juha Lampi from Finland. So thanks a lot to him for coming along and being our first international driver.
Yeah, Juha was a regular last season for the Skip Barbers, and he's got another Italian friend that normally accompanies him with these races, so it's good to see him stepping up from the skippies up into the Star Mazda and giving that, not Star Mazda, Formula Renault, and giving that a run. So I'm not with it tonight. So yeah, it was good to see him having a run.
Yeah, definitely, and obviously thanks to all the drivers as well, because without them the series wouldn't exist. So yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But anyway, guys, I think I'm going to wrap this up while the going's good. For the viewers that are still with us, remember tomorrow night we have the SDRT 240, the V8 Supercar boys come out to play, and that will be commencing probably about 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And then we've got the Australian Endurance Championship this weekend, if you enjoy your GT3s. But anyway, Luke, thanks once again for jumping in the combox. As always, it's a pleasure calling these races with you.
No worries, Bernie, and thanks for having me along, and thanks to Trent and all the boys that helped run this series, and also you, Bernie, for hosting the broadcast as well. And it's always good to help out along the way.
Yeah, there goes my voice again. Yeah, so on behalf of Luke Hamilton and Trent Thomas, I'm Bernie Weemers. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us tonight, and I'd like to wish you all a very good evening.